help us. Okay, so so here is one question I will just ask. So it is given to you that the de Broglie wavelength of electron in He plus is 3.329 angstrom unit. Okay, then if the photon emitted by this He plus ion is made to hit hydrogen atom in ground state, what is the wavelength of the photo electron? Okay, so so many options are there. So whenever a question is given, my first job, first thing is, I hope all of you are able to see the screen. Yeah, everything is, yes, okay, good. So whenever a question is given, my first job is to check what is the meaning of the question. So there is a de Broglie wavelength of an electron. So what is de Broglie wavelength? De Broglie wavelength is equal to lambda, which is equal to h by p. Now I want to know if lambda is equal to h by p, then in atom is this much. So the de Broglie wavelength is given to me. So first thing is, do we know that energy is equal to minus 13.6 into n squared by z squared? I'm sorry, z squared by n squared. So much z squared by n squared. So for a helium atom, z is 4. So it will become minus 13.6 into 4 divided by n square. So this is going to be the energy of an electron in the ground state of, or in any orbit of helium. Can we make a note of this first? This is the energy. Here is the question. This is a difficult one. It is not a simple one. Energy of an electron in the nth orbit of helium. Okay, so this is the energy of an electron in the nth orbit of helium. Okay, also I explained to you yesterday, if an electron is there in the first orbit, if the electron is there in the first orbit, then its de Broglie wavelength, the lambda, will become equal to 2 pi r1. If an electron is there in the second orbit, then lambda will become equal to 2 pi r by 2, saying that in the first there will be one wave, in the second there will be two waves, third there will be three waves, fourth there will be four waves, and so on. So lambda is equal to 2 pi r by 2. For the third one, lambda, in the third one there will be three waves, so it will become circumference is 2 pi r, so 2 pi r by 3. So now radius of the nth orbit in case of helium will be 0.529 into 0.529 into n squared by z. Now the, yes, so from here now I can put things together and answer. So I can get the value for radius first. So now 0.529 into n squared by z seems to be equal to 2 pi r. 2 pi r, this is for 1, this is for 2, 3 and so on. So this is the r value, right? So this is equal to n into lambda divided by 2 pi. So 1n and 1n here will get cancelled. So from here I can get the value for n. So n is equal to z into lambda by 2 pi into 0.529. So I'll just substitute my values. For helium, z is equal to 2, lambda is equal to 3.329 divided by 2 into pi. Pi is 3.14 into 0.529. So when I work this out, this 2 gets cancelled. So when I work this out, n will become equal to 2. That means in the case of helium, the photon is emitting when the electron is jumping from the second shell to the first shell. Now from here, I can find out its energy. Yes. Before you ask any questions and say, I don't understand, first write down notes and tell me what you don't understand. Then I will see. Okay, so let us write down some notes first. Let us write down some notes. If an electron is in the nth orbit, its de Broglie wavelength is equal to 2 pi r by n, where r is the radius of the orbit. So where r is the radius of the orbit. So now I can say that de Broglie wavelength is equal to 2 pi by n into 0.529 into n squared by z. Cancel n. So I can get de Broglie wavelength is equal to 2 pi into 0.529 into n by z. This is the de Broglie wavelength in the nth shell. Okay. Now in the question it is given to me that this is equal to some 3 point something. In the question it is given to me that it is 3.329. So this must be equal to 2 into pi is 3.14 into 0.529 into n by z. Z is equal to 2. So this 2 gets cancelled. This will be approximately 1.56. N can only be an integer. So the only integer n can be is 2. The only integer, sir, what is the meaning of de Broglie? Rofina, I don't know. I don't think you are attending the classes regularly. So I can't answer that particular question. So I'm not saying de Broglie wavelength. We are speaking about de Broglie wavelength so many times. We are not reading anything. We are just sitting, attending classes, sitting in front of the system. That's it. We are not working out. De Broglie, B-O-R-G-L-I-E, de Broglie wavelength, de Broglie wavelength lambda. So that is what I'm explaining now. I'm explaining what it is. So many times I'm explaining. This is the second time I'm explaining. Whatever is there on the first slide is there on the second slide. So please don't ask me to explain the first slide again. Listen to the second slide. If the electron is in the nth orbit, then its de Broglie wavelength is given by 2 pi r by n. This is what I explained yesterday also. I am telling you the electron is a wave. So the wavelength in the first orbit, there is one wave, second orbit, two waves, third orbit, three waves, fourth orbit, four waves. That is de Broglie's concept. That is de Broglie's theory. So if the radius of the orbit is r, then 2 pi r. 2 pi r has n waves. So the wavelength will become 2 pi r by n. That is what is called as de Broglie's wavelength. First, make notes. Yeah, so now is it understood? Yes, okay. I am doing the sum, Harish. Don't ask me to show that slide. I'm doing that in multiple steps now. So please don't ask me for that. Instead, write down first what we have just now done. So it is given to me that the de Broglie wavelength of the electron is 3.329 or some number like this. So from there, I can find out what is the shell number where the electron is. And I found out that the shell number of the electron is 2. Okay, so you can write down this theory again. So we can write down that according to de Broglie, the principal quantum number indicates the number of waves in a particular shell. Okay, that means how many waves are there. If n is equal to 1, 1 wave. If n is equal to 2, 2 waves. If n is equal to 3, 3 waves. If n is equal to n, n waves. Okay, so wavelength will be length of one wave. So that will become equal to 2 pi r by n, where r is radius and n is principal quantum number. Okay. So in this particular question, they gave me the wavelength. They gave me the wavelength as 3.329. And they said this is in a helium atom. So in a helium atom, 2 pi radius of helium atom will be 0.529 into n squared by z. Okay. So this is wavelength means it will become by n. This is 2 pi r by n, that will be the wavelength. So this n will get cancelled. So from here, given that z, what is z? Z is the atomic number. Atomic number means it refers to the number of number of protons, which is equal to the number of electrons. Okay, so now from here I can do some cross multiplication and get the value for n. N is equal to Z2 into 3.329 divided by 2 into pi 3.14 into 0.529. So this 2 will get cancelled. look, this number will be approximately half of this, and n is an integer, so this will become equal to 2. Okay, that means in a helium, now the electron is jumping from the higher orbit to lower orbit. Electron is jumping from higher orbit to lower orbit. So if electron is jumping from higher orbit to lower orbit, what is the principal quantum number? So it is jumping from 2 to 1. So what will be the energy release? Now in any shell, the energy will be 13.6 eV into z squared by n squared. Yeah. So for helium, here in the second level, z is 2, n is 2. So square when I do, it is 13.6. What is the energy here? Here z is 4, z is 2, so 2 square is 4, n is 1. So it will become something like 13.6 into 4. So now what is the difference in energy? 13.6 into 3. Yes, so we can then write down that the energy released is equal to minus 13.6 into 3. Okay, now this energy is made to hit hydrogen in the ground state. Is this made to hit hydrogen in the ground state? So much energy is hitting. Energy is minus 13.6 into electron volt for hydrogen. Now how much is hitting? 3 into 13.6 is hitting. So what will be the energy of the photon? 2 into 13.6. Now they are asking you what is the de Broglie wavelength for this. So now we can answer this. So it is 2 into 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 is equal to 6.637 into 10 power minus 34 into 3 into 10 power 8 by lambda. So I can find out lambda is equal to 6.637 into 10 power minus 34 into 3 into 10 power 8 divided by 2 into 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So if you calculate this, you will get the lambda value. So let us calculate this and let us try to find out. You guys can help me try to do this. So 19 will go up, it will become 27. 19 will go up, it will become 27. 34 minus 27 will make it 7 minus 7. So this will become 6,637 divided by 2 into 3 into 2 into 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 10. So this will give me the angstrom value. Please find out what this number will be equal to. 16 into 4. So 16 into 4 is 64. So this will be approximately 426. So if I have to work it out in angstrom unit, I'm telling you the answer. 4,000 into 3 by 2 into 13.6. 2 will go 2,000. So it is 6,000 divided by 13.6. 13 ones 13, 2 is 26, 13 3 is 39, 13 4 is 52. So the answer will be close to 4 something. So let us look at the options and then we can try to answer. So option D will give me the best one. Okay, let me just check what kind of doubts you all are asking, and then yeah, I will show you all the slides for 2 minutes. Here is the first slide, so you can write down the question. It's a good question. This one question has many questions for us for the exam. So the de Broglie wavelength of an electron is given to you, and if this electron jumps, it releases a photon. So if that photon strikes a hydrogen in the ground state, what is the wavelength of the photoelectron? Got the energy of the photoelectron. Okay, so we will work again from the energy of the photoelectron. So please find out the energy of the photoelectron. So from the first bit, I am getting the value of the n, the transition which the electron is taking. So here, this is the second slide. I will show this to you for another 2 minutes. Okay, this is the second one. This is the third one. So basically, this gives me the value for n. Once I got the value for n, then I know that the energy here is minus 13.6. The energy here in the ground state is minus 13.6 into 4. So the how much energy is released? That is 13.6 into 3 is released. Okay, so now I will work out from there again. So now the photon has energy 13.6 into 3 electron volt. Okay, now this is hitting hydrogen. Now the work function for hydrogen is how much? 13.6. So energy of photon 13.6 into 3 minus 13.6 is equal to 13.6 into 2. What is this? This is the energy of photoelectron. Yeah, this is the energy of photoelectron. Okay. So now if this is the energy of the photoelectron, then then the question is, what is the de Broglie wavelength of photoelectron? Now de Broglie wavelength for photoelectron will become h by p. Yes, then energy is equal to p square by 2m. Then p is equal to root over of 2m into e. So this is equal to 6.637 into 10 power minus 34 divided by root over of 2m into e, root over of 2 into 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 into e. E is how much? E is how much? 2 into 13.6 into 10 power minus 19 into 1.6. See, for the electron, de Broglie wavelength is equal to h by p. But energy is given. Energy is half mv square. So it is half. I am multiplying a m in the numerator, denominator. So that is equal to p square by 2m. So from there I can say p is equal to root over of 2m into e. So if I substitute, I'll get lambda is equal to 6.637 into 10 power minus 34 divided by root over of 2 into 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 into 2 into, this is E is 13.6 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. So if you understand this, calculation will help you get the final answer. Because all the numbers are different, if I work out the numbers alone, it is enough. I don't have to work out with 10 point. The answers given are, I'll just read out the numbers given. Okay, so yeah, find out. These kind of questions will not come in NEET. Can't, sir, yesterday we were doing the test questions. I know. We will continue. Please wait. Let's pick up. Let's not leave things, everything in the middle and then go. Let us finish this and then we will go there. So this will give you the answer. The answer is different. Each number is different. So if we can understand broadly how to get it, it will be fine. This is minus 31 minus 19. That will give you 50. So that will give you minus 25. Okay. So I am just taking it out. So it will be 6.637 divided by root over of 2 into 9.1 into 2 into 13.6 into 1.6. So this 2 will give me a 2. So I will have 6.637 divided by 2 into root over of 9.1 will give me approximately 3. Okay. Then 13.6 into 1.6, one calculation I will do. 13.6 into 16 into 6 is 96, carry over 9. 16 into 3 is like 48, 48 plus 9, 57, carry over 5. 16, 116 plus 5 is 21. So it will work out to be root over of 21.6. Okay, so root over of 21.6. So root over of 21.6 will approximately be equal to 3.5. So 3.5 into, not 3.5, I'm sorry, 21.6, right? 21.6 means it will be 4.5. 4.5 square. 4.5 square is equal to 2025. Yeah, so this is 21. So little more than that. So I'll put it as 4.6. 3 into 2 will give you 6. So this is 1.1107 or 106. Then that divided by 4.6 will give me approximately 25. Yeah, so 25. So I have to look at that option. All the numbers were different. Okay, so because the numbers were different, that option which is close to 25 will be the correct answer. But these kind of questions won't come in your NEET exam, but the same question can come in multiple parts, that n is equal to 2, determining n is equal to 2 can come in your NEET exam. Okay, so now let's go back and then okay, so you all reach here. I will move on and I will discuss the paper which we were doing yesterday. Today we should finish it off and then move on. Yeah, we will discuss. We will discuss. The photoelectron asked here is electron of hydrogen, not of helium. Helium is not emitted. It's only hydrogen which is emitted. Helium is jumping from higher level to lower level only. Okay, so good. So let's go back and then let me try to discuss the paper. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, so let us go. So everything would have changed. The order of the questions would have changed. So some questions we answered yesterday. We won't. So the first one, 46th, we did it yesterday. It is n squared. Who modified Bohr? We answered that. Then the momentum of a photon of energy 1 MeV, we answered that. For d electron, the orbital angular momentum, we answered that. Let's look at question number 50. A black body has maximum wavelength lambda m at 2000 Kelvin. The corresponding wavelength at 3000 Kelvin will be how much? Okay. So again, these questions are asked. It is not that they are not asked, but these questions, it is not enough to have just knowledge of NCERT and then move. Anyway, I will try my best. Okay, so the question is, at 2000 Kelvin, the maximum wavelength is lambda. At 3000 Kelvin, what should be the wavelength? So first thing is, at 3000 Kelvin, temperature is increasing. So lambda should be decreasing. So in the first step, I will look at options, and then see whether in all cases lambda is less, or is there only one option where lambda is less, or are there many options where lambda is less. So if there is only one option where lambda is less, I don't have to do anything. I can just tick that and then move on. Okay, assume there are multiple where lambda is less. So I will try to teach you how to answer. Okay, now If it is 2000 Kelvin, it is lambda. So now you all have to understand there is another formula which says that the energy is proportional to T power 4. This is also a part of Planck's theory, where he says that if there is a black body radiation, the energy is proportional to temperature power 4. Okay, so E1 is proportional to 2000 power 4. E2 will be proportional to 3000 to the power 4. So do you agree that E2 will become equal to 81 by 16 times E2? Do you understand that E2 will become 81 by 16 times E1? Yes, if it is the case, then here I will have Hc by lambda 2 is equal to 81 by 16 Hc by lambda 1. Hc gets cancelled. So lambda 2 is equal to 16 by 81 lambda 1. Okay, so now also you don't have to work out all this. You don't have to work out. So those two options where lambda was less, 16 by 80. 16 by 80 is almost a fifth of it. So it is 16 into 5 is 80. So it is almost a fifth of it. So all that I have to do is take lambda 1 divided by 5. So the answer is lambda 1 by 5. Yeah, you will be reading this chapter again in 12th. You will be reading this chapter again in 12th. It is a 12th chapter. In chemistry, the important thing is only the orbitals and how the electrons are going into orbitals. But they are asking these kind of questions also, so I can't keep you in the dark. But at the same time, we have to understand. Okay, so if question number 50 is over, next one, question number 51. Uncertainty in position and momentum. Uncertainty in position and momentum are equal. Then they are asking you what is the uncertainty in velocity. Okay, so let's answer that question. I hope this one is done. Yeah, I explained to you now. I don't understand, Harshini. Just now I told you why it is 81 by 60. Okay, energy is proportional to T power 4. So E1 is proportional to 2000 power 4. E2 is proportional to 3000 to the power 4. So E1 by E2 will be equal to, you find out, you do this calculation, all the zeros will get cancelled. So it is 2 power 4 by 3 power 4. So that is 4 into 4 by 9 into 9. So that is 16 by 81. Okay. Then I asked you for E2. So cross multiply. E2 is equal to 81 by 16 times E1. This elementary maths we all should be working. We are not working on it. So unless you work on it, what happens is, okay, anyway, forget it. Let's move on. Yeah, so next one, uncertainty in position and momentum are equal. What is the uncertainty in velocity? So first, according to Heisenberg's principle, delta x into delta p is greater than equal to h by 4 pi. Okay, so now uncertainty here and here are equal. Okay, so if they are equal, then can I say that uncertainty in momentum will be greater than equal to root over of h by 4 pi? Because if this is suppose some a, this is also a, so a square. So that. So I have now m into delta V is greater than equal to root over of h by 4 pi. So delta V will be greater than equal to 1 by m root over of h by 4 pi. So whatever format they want me, I will find it out. Okay, whatever format they have given, now I can find it out. Delta x into delta p is greater than equal to h by 4 pi. So because they are equal, I can say a square. So a square is greater than equal to h by 4 pi. So from there I can say delta v is equal to root over 1 by m root over of h by 4 pi. If they want me to calculate, we will calculate it. If they don't want us to calculate, if they just want us to give a formula, we will give the formula. Yeah, I hope that is clear. So it may be given that answer is wrong. Okay, Anirudh, if the answer is given as 2 by 3, it is wrong. They have applied simple ratio proportion. They cannot apply simple ratio proportion. Yeah, so we don't know Wien's displacement law. We don't need it now. So leave it. Don't worry about it. Go by this answer. When you learn it, you will be able to figure it out. It's not a big deal. What I've told you is the correct answer. So the answer is lambda by 5. There's no second thoughts about that. We need to know a little bit more. Don't worry, when the right time comes, we can't learn the whole of science in 2 classes. Right? So please don't worry about it. So just do what I have told is the correct answer. Ajitesh, there are 2 different laws. Okay. Yeah. So if you are talking of particles, as per de Broglie's concept, lambda into p is equal to h. So p is equal to lambda is equal to h by p. When you are talking of a wave, when you're talking about a wave, energy is equal to hc by lambda. So this is a different concept. This is a different concept. Now this can be applied for electrons and particles. This can be applied only for waves. Okay, so this is also correct. This is also correct. But this is applied for particles and this is applied for waves. So that is very important. This is a very good question. A lot of you might not have even might not have figured it out. Please understand. Whenever there is a wave, energy is equal to hc by lambda. Whenever there is a particle, lambda into p is equal to h, or lambda is equal to h by p. Yes, so we should use h by p for photoelectron. That's why I used h by p for photoelectron. Why is the formula for wavelength, sir? Is it hc by energy or h by p? I explained. Yeah. Why is that law required? Otherwise, you won't know that it is lambda t power 4. You will still be figuring out what it is. Yes, p is momentum. Okay. Now, let's move on. If uncertainty in the position of an electron is 0, the uncertainty in momentum would be infinity. Because, yeah, so it would be infinity. So the next question is time taken for an electron to complete one revolution of the Bohr's orbit in a hydrogen atom. (9.1 into 10 power minus 31 is the mass of an electron. Kavi, Priya, everything I can't show. You guys have the questions, no? I have to have it in a format in which I can show. I can't show the options right now, then it will take 2 days for us to discuss. So let us move on. I am giving you the answers. Please don't worry about it. Open. You guys have the reports, no? So you guys take out the questions. It's a difficult thing. So let us work it out. That's why yesterday we were working. We could have worked for some more time and try to finish it off, because it doesn't allow you to open 2 times. It allows you to open only once. Anyway, let's work this time. Next time I'll see how I can sort it out. Time taken for an electron to complete 1 revolution in the Bohr's orbit is how much? Yeah. So time taken for an electron to complete 1 revolution in Bohr's orbit. Okay. So first thing is, time would be distance 2 pi r by v. Yeah, v for velocity. 2 pi r by v. Now let us see what all things we know for us to find out what will be the velocity. Then I know mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi. So I can say v is equal to nh by 2 pi mr. So if I substitute that, I will get 2 pi r divided by nh into 2 pi mr. Okay. So what happens is I will get 4 pi squared m r squared by nh. This is the time period. Now r is equal to 0.529 into n squared by z. Z is equal to 1. So this is equal to 4 pi squared m into 0.529 into 10 power minus 10 the whole squared into n squared by n into h. So 1n here will get cancelled. So if 1n here gets cancelled, now I can find out this value and report. Okay, so t is equal to, let's work on this later on. I will show you the options and then we can see. I understand why the options are required, because they'll guide us in how much, in what way we have to work. So no issues right now. You understand this, then subsequently I'll get you the okay. Yeah, so I've got it. Yes, so you guys work on this, then I will get the options. Oh, 1 minute, huh? Okay, still the answers are not visible. Okay. Okay, let's work on this. I'll get you the answers. No, we should write r as 0.529 n squared by z. It is dependent on n. No, we don't. Yeah. So if n is equal, later on we will put n is equal to 1. Yes. No, I am using a PDF. No, by in PDF that view answer won't work. I am using a PDF because otherwise what happens is it's a pain. I have the link also, but now Oh dear students, I am using a PDF. So whatever I press on this, nothing will come. Nothing will come. View answer. I'm using a PDF. I'm using a photo. Okay. So okay. Happy. Yeah. So this one we had finished yesterday. So we didn't know what is A, what is B, we said. The next one. An excited hydrogen atom on returning to the ground state emits lambda. The quantum number n of the excited orbit in terms of the Rydberg constant can be what? Okay, so I will do question number 24 for you. So now you guys are happier. We will extend the class a little bit. Please don't complain. So 1 by lambda is equal to Rydberg's constant into 1 by n1 squared minus 1 by n2 squared. You understand this? Yeah. So now let us read the question in this context. Now excited returning to the ground state. So it is coming from n to 1. Okay. That means it is 1 by lambda is equal to RH into 1 minus 1 by n2 square. So now what I will do, I'll first 1 by lambda RH is equal to 1 minus 1 by n2 squared. I'll bring this side, take it this side. So I'll get 1 by n2 squared is equal to 1 minus 1 by lambda RH. So I'll get n2 is equal to root over of this much, but I want n2. So n2 will be 1 divided by root over of this much. So it will become root over of lambda RH divided by lambda RH minus 1. Yeah, so this will be the answer. So let us check. Yeah, so let us see the answer. Okay. If the radius of the Bohr orbit is x, the de Broglie wavelength of the electron in the third orbit is nearly how much? So radius of the first Bohr orbit is x. Okay. So the third Bohr orbit will become how much? First is x. So third one will become into n squared. So it will become 9x. 9x by 3. Yeah. So that will become 3x. So the answer is 3x. So let us look at it. Oh, 2 pi r. Radius is given. Sorry. So radius is 3x. Okay. But they are asking you for wavelength. So it will become into 2 pi r. So that will give you 6 pi x. Did you understand this here? Radius is r. So 2 pi r ground state. Excited state, third level, it will become 9 into 2 pi r. 9 into 2 pi r by 3. 3 will go 3 times. So 6 into 2 pi x. So 6 pi x. Okay. Okay. So that is done. Next one. 4f orbital. 4f n minus 1 nodes. So 3 nodes. Ionization potential of ground state is so many ergs per atom. Okay. Calculate the wavelength of the photon that is emitted when an electron in the third Bohr orbit returns to the first orbit in hydrogen. So electron is coming from the third to first. So do you understand? It will be 1 minus 1 by n squared into 13.6 into 10 power minus 19 into 1.6. This is the energy. This is equal to hc by lambda. What do they want me to calculate? They want me to calculate the wavelength of the photon. Yeah, so this will give me the wavelength of the photon. Kindly note, I am not using the data which they have given. I am using this data. I am using this data because all my calculations I have always been doing it on this data, so I won't make a mistake. So now they want me to calculate lambda. So this is third to first. So this will become 1 by 9. So 1 minus 1 by 9 is 8 by 9. So this is 8 by 9. So lambda is equal to 6.637 into 10 power minus 34 into 3 into 10 power 8 divided by 13.6 into 10 power minus 19 into 1.6 into 8 into 9. Okay, I hope you are able to understand this. So electron is jumping from 3 to 1. I don't want to use the data which them, because now I don't know how many ergs is joule and all that. So I don't want to get into all those calculations. I can still work with my calculations. So this number will give me the answer. Let me check how the answers are. Look, 1000, 1300, 2700, 8000. So some numbers are far away, but if it is close to 1000, I have to do my calculations exactly. So let me first figure out what the number is going to look like. Okay, so 1.6 will go 4 times approximately. Then 4 will go 4 3s is 12, 16, 3.4 times. Okay, then 8 into 4 is like 8 into 4 is 32, 2 carry over 3, 8 into 3 is 24 plus 3 is 27, 9 into 3 is 27. So it is going to be close to 1. So I don't have to have any doubts on this. I can just go by this. Mostly it will be correct. Okay, then the speed. Okay, now any questions? My dear Dinesh, please write down in your notebook, number of nodes is equal to n minus 1. There is nothing to explain, Dinesh. You are not attending classes. Then when I was explaining notes, you were sleeping, I guess. I don't know what is the problem. Please take out your notes, turn your notes and see number of nodes is equal to n minus 1. 4f, n is equal to 4. So 4 minus 1, 3 nodes. Hey, Santosh. How did 8 minus 9 come? What should it be? Where are your notebooks? See, sometimes I feel that you guys are just fooling around. How much is 1 minus 1 by 9? Santosh, how much is 1 minus 1? That you cannot ask me okay for all this thing. Then you are just fooling around. You are not doing any work. No, not that now it is clear. We want to ask a question just for the sake of it. Yes, Dinesh. Please message me yesterday's notebook of yours. Whatever notes you have written yesterday, please message me today. I want to see. Otherwise, next class I am going to pull you out. Now you are clear. If I ask you, then only you are clear. Till then you are not clear. Let us be clear. Let us be serious about it. This is not a joke. I am seeing how you guys ask maths unnecessary silly questions. Okay, it won't work out with me. Please make sure that you are doing work. Yeah. Okay, if the speed of an electron of mass m in an orbit represents its wavelength, represents its wavelength, then the wavelength is given by what? So they want you to find out what is the speed. This is actually a silly question. I would like to leave this. I mean, I don't know if the speed of an electron of mass m is in an orbit is represented in an orbit represents its wavelength, then wavelength is given by this is a silly question. I look at the answer and then learn it. Uncertainty in position and momentum are equal. Uncertainty in velocity, we have answered this question, 1 by 2m h by 2 pi. Which energy level of helium plus has energy equal to the ground state energy of hydrogen atom? We have learned this also too. So for those of us who don't seem to be knowing, it is this. So energy is equal to minus 13.6 into z square by n square. So for helium, z is equal to 2. So it will become 4. So if this has to be equal with hydrogen, then n has to be equal to 2. So the 2 square, these two will get cancelled. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that one is over. 31. If in hydrogen atom, energy of first excited state is given. The kinetic energy of the same orbit. I think we already answered this question. in an energy, the first excited state is this, the kinetic energy of the same orbit. So I explained to you in the last class how the kinetic energy, potential energy and total energy are related. Total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Potential energy is negative, kinetic energy is positive, total energy is positive. Okay, so magnitude wise, this is 2 times x, sorry, this is x minus this is 2 times x, this will become minus x. So total energy is equal to kinetic energy. Magnitude of total energy is equal to kinetic energy is equal to 2 times potential energy. Okay, so now everything is given to you. So kinetic energy of the same orbit. So kinetic energy is the same thing with a plus sign. Kinetic energy can never be negative. Maximum number of electrons in p orbital with n is equal to 6. Whether it is wherever the electron is in the p orbital, there can be only 6 electrons, not more than that. An electron is moving in the fourth orbit. Its de Broglie wavelength is lambda. What is the circumference of the fourth orbit? So I explained to you that circumference will become fourth orbit means 4 wavelengths will be there. So circumference will become 4 lambda. Yeah, 34th question we will do later. Time taken for an electron to complete one revolution in the Bohr's orbit. So I worked this out for you. It is in the way we had worked it out. So the same similar options. So we can just look at our work and then find out what will be the, so time taken. So time taken, not here, not here, not here, not here. So here we found out the time taken. So time taken is equal to this much, 4 pi square m r squared by nh. So time taken is 4 pi squared m r squared by nh. In India, electricity, this is a silly question. I removed this, it still came. With what velocity must an electron travel so that its momentum is equal to that of a photon? So that its momentum is equal to that of a photon of wavelength this much. Okay, so they are asking you with what velocity must electron travel, with what, this is the last question, the rest of the questions we'll do tomorrow, I'll finish it up. With what velocity must an electron travel so that its momentum is equal to that of a photon of some wavelength. Okay, so photon wavelength is given to you, lambda. So lambda is equal to h. So what velocity must it travel? So lambda p is equal to h. So velocity is equal to h by mv. Okay, now they are saying that it should be equal to that of a photon that is given to you. So that is it. So this is h by m lambda, my dear friend. So we have to calculate this. So h is given to you 6.637 into 10 power minus 34. M is given to you. M is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 into lambda is given to you. What is the value for lambda? 7253. 7253 into 10 power minus 10. Okay, so now I will just try to simplify this and then check. So minus 31 minus 10 minus 41, when it goes up it will become 10 power 7. So it is 6.637 into 10 power 7 divided by 9.1 into 7253. So I'll make it point here. So 4 zeros. So this will become 3. So 9 into this I will try to work out, and then I will get 9 into 7 is close to 6.3. So it is very close to 1, but 10 power 3. So let me look at the options and then very close to 1, 10 power 3. But these numbers are also quite close by. These numbers are also quite close by. So I would like to do it perfectly so that I don't make a big mistake. So 9 into 3 is 27, carry over 2, 45, 7 carry over 4, 18, 2 carry over 2, 63, 65. So it is little more than 1000. So there is no option of 1200. So I will go by 1000 and hope that my guess is correct. Okay. Okay, we did a few more questions. The spin angular momentum of an electron can be given by spin angular momentum is only plus half minus half. So there's some wrong error in the options. So actually all options, something error. Spin angular momentum is plus half minus half. They're asking you for the momentum. Okay, I'll clarify this. Next class, I'll clarify this. Source of light. All these questions we'll work out tomorrow. Okay. This one we have worked it out already. Wavelength of an electron moving. Okay, we'll work out all these questions tomorrow. So bye, see you, and then yeah, my dear friends, be a little bit more serious. Yeah, they are asking for orbital quantum number. Let's see, no problem. Okay. Yeah, yesterday's homework will come today. Okay, thank you.